Everyone, welcome to my assembly. It's the last one of the year. Follows a series of assemblies by different people talking about our values, which you're all familiar with. My assembly today is about being ready. I'm ready for whatever gets thrown at you. And I'd invite you to stick with the assembly towards the end. You'll see how even us as professionals and adults that you're probably familiar with sometimes need to be ready for the unexpected. Um, you're familiar with this image, and I'm not going to spend more than 10 seconds talking about the fact that we expect our students to be ready for learning, equipped for the day, in the right mindset, with ready for new ideas, being open to feedback. We're not going to spend any more time than that because you're familiar with that. That's something you are more than ready for. However, the world was not ready for the last few months and weren't ready for COVID-19. But we are more ready now because as human beings, we respond, we react, we adapt, and we are able to cope with different circumstances, and life moves on. And actually, the theme of this assembly is about not putting permanent red lights on anything you wish to do or aspire to, because if you stick in a traffic situation where you are faced with red lights, you're not going to move. The traffic's not going anywhere, and we as human beings find every excuse in the world not to go any further forward. I can't do this. I'm not ready. I haven't got the ability. I'm not old enough. I'm too young. All those kind of things stop us as barriers from moving forward. Uh, Eventually, the lights will change and it will go to amber. And as a driver, I know that red and amber appear at the same time because red means you can't progress forward, amber means progress forward with caution. But in terms of being ready, actually, as a human being, if I've gone from red to amber, I'm more ready to accept and be able to do things in a different way and prepare myself for inevitably when it goes to green. And when it goes to green, that's telling me I can proceed in my car, but also in terms of being ready, you've obviously done the thinking, you've obviously worked through some of the barriers that might have presented themselves to you, or some of the talk in your mind that's saying to you, you're not ready. And then as soon as you get a green light, you go ahead. Um, there's a couple of quotes on the screen that I'd like to talk to you about. And Hugh Laurie is an actor and a comedian, and he said it's a terrible thing, I think, in life to wait until you're ready. I suppose the message that he is saying is that actually wait until you're ready. It's a terrible thing because you could be waiting forever. Whenever is that time going to be right? Sometimes in life you have to take a leap of faith, and as long as you've made a judgment as to whether it's right to proceed, then actually go ahead and go for it. Because sometimes you need to just put yourself in a position where you've taken a risk, a calculated risk. I'm certainly not saying that on the way home tonight I'm going to go through any red lights. Why? Because I'm going to have broken the law and I'm going to put myself and others in danger. But if you wait too long, you're going to miss out on opportunities. That links to the second one where I saw someone else commented to identify and challenge the excuses to hold you back. If you have any talk in your head when you're thinking about doing something and the words "I'm not ready" come to mind, identify the reasons that you're coming up with as to why you might not be ready. Challenge those, address those, deal with those where you can, and you'll find that suddenly your green light appears. You are ready. And finally, you'll never be ready, so stop waiting. And that's about saying if you wait forever and tell yourself you're never going to be ready for something, then life passes you by. So sometimes you just need to stop waiting and take a leap of faith and go for it. All linked to our values, of course, but if you think about being ready, it is about taking notice, it's about being decisive, it is about taking ownership, being ready to take ownership, and being present in the moment. And also doing the right thing sometimes is a challenge, but ultimately integrity is about doing the right thing. And the last part of this assembly, I'm going to leave to several people to explain what ready means to them. And no words needs to be used really. It ends up being a real lesson for us all. And so I will just hand over to my Zoom conversation with several colleagues that you will recognise. Have a great summer holiday, and I look forward to seeing you in September. Hi everyone, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, thanks.
Thank you.
I can see Miss Nichols is not quite ready, but that is the topic today. So when she is ready, she can join us. But
Miss Hobbs, would you just tell us anything you think about what ready means?
Okay. So being ready kind of from a castle view point of view is being ready for your lesson, being ready for your learning. I know that me as a person, I'm quite a perfectionist, so I make sure that I'm always ready for kind of all situations. I'm not very good at kind of spontaneity. I like to kind of be mentally and physically prepared for things. And in regards to kind of starting school or being at school, my advice would be was kind of getting yourself organised the night before. Make sure towards the end of the summer holidays you're getting those extra hours of sleep in, getting ready for those early mornings so that you are ready to kind of hit the ground running in September.
Cool, thank you. Mr. Boltwood, are you ready?
Yeah, for me, it's about being open-minded and ready to face any challenges that come up during the course of the day as well. So it's just being able to receive those sorts of things and come up with solutions and know the right people to go to. So being ready to know who to go to when you're ready.
So I suppose you're saying actually be ready for actually things not to go well and actually be prepared to change direction if you need to.
Yeah, mostly things go well, but you know, there's always that chance that something goes just out of sync of what you're expecting. Just be open-minded enough and just accept that and be ready to sort of face that challenge.
Cool. Actually, has anyone got an example? Maybe I'll come to Miss Marchant next, of whenever you said, "Do you know what, I'm just not ready for that," when really you were?
I think my best example is walking in sometimes
You sound like a
if something doesn't go quite right, my emails won't work, or my projector doesn't work, and I have this massive I know, but everything's going to go wrong. But you realise and you start to develop a coping mechanism. You've forgotten something. You come up with a plan. What? Are you going to start
Sarah, we haven't heard anything you've said.
You're still...
Is this serious? What?
I've nearly wet myself. No.
What the hell? Why?
You were talking
Doesn't it work?
garlic.
You sounded like a robot.
Right. Do I sound like a dog? It's because I'm on my phone, because my laptop won't work. Do I still sound like a Dalek?
Right, I'll cut that
What?
bit.
Can you hear?
Right, go
Right,
for it then.
cut me
Right.
out.
Miss Marchant.
Right. Oh, can you hear me now, though?
Yeah, oh, yeah, no, we're ready.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
but-
me now?
I'm not. Right, perfect example. I can't do this. Right. My biggest fear is when I'm actually not ready. So I like to be prepared all the time. And if I walk into a situation sometimes, you know, into a lesson and my computer doesn't start working, or I can't teach the lesson, I suddenly decide I want to teach. But you realise that you are ready for any situation, as long as you always have a little bit of a backup plan. It's all about being prepared, being confident, making sure that you actually can do it. It's about building your confidence so that you are ready.
Thank you. That was really good, actually. Miss Nichols?
Hi, good morning. So for me, being ready, a little bit like Miss Hobbs, is about being organised and making sure that you know what you are aiming to do in a day, and knowing that at the end of the day, you've achieved something that you've set out to do. And a bit like Miss Marchant there, also being prepared for anything to be thrown at you. You know, we work in an environment and we deal with children, and any possibility can walk around the corner at any moment of our day. So it's about being prepared to do that, and to be adjustable to be able to, you know, deal with any situation that we come across within our day.
Cool. And lastly, but not least, Miss Mary, anything about what ready means to you?
I'm the same. I like to be prepared for things and have as much knowledge and background on the situation before I face it. But obviously with my role, as Nicole said, anything can happen at any time. So it's just knowing sometimes that if it does go wrong, it's okay to go wrong, and we learn by those mistakes so that next time we are for it.
Yeah, I suppose at the end of the day, even if something does go wrong, you know what to prepare for next time, so you're ready next time for that.
Yeah.
So, no, I think our students will really benefit from that, and the message I want to give to them is, you know, the whole world wasn't ready for what happened in the last few months, but actually we've done, and we're now working in different ways. I mean, actually, I had never heard of Zoom 3 months ago, but we're now on this, and actually we're ready to be able to talk and communicate in a different way than I thought was possible 4 months ago. So no, thanks for your time. And I know literally for our students, they won't realise in the background, I gave you about 2 minutes to be ready for this. And actually, it hasn't been a disaster. So hopefully our students have seen that, you know, we have to be ready for anything at any time ourselves. So that's it, really. So have a lovely day, people.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.